Hello, my name is Evan Donald, and I'm going to be your instructor for Calculus 2 this semester. It's a job, this will be my third semester teaching Calculus 2, so I'm getting into a bit of a rhythm, and obviously with this pandemic, this is new for all of us, but content-wise, you guys will be in my hands. I don't know how capable my hands are, but I'll try and get you through the semester as painlessly as possible. A little about me. I'm a fourth year PhD student in the mathematics department, specializing in probability. So I'm not a doctor yet, and I'm not a professor. I'm just your instructor. So you can call me Evan. You can call me Mr. Donald. I really don't care, whatever you're comfortable with. I'm not going to get hung up on titles at all. I wanted to mention a couple things in this video, just basics. I'm going to make some more announcements later in the week once the semester officially starts. I just wanted to cover the basic course layout, just very basic, and then kind of what level of understanding I expect you guys to have as we progress through the course. And now that you've seen my face, I'm going to turn off the screen and switch to a notepad. Okay, so I'm going to briefly lay out what the course is going to be on a weekly basis. So for each week, we will cover typically 2 to 3 sections of the textbook. And for each section, we're going to have some regularly scheduled assignments. So first of all, we would have, for each section, typically we'll have a pre-homework. And this is going to be short and simple, maybe 2 questions on WebAssign. And this is, you can try and complete this, you can skim the book, then try this, and then try looking at lecture materials and things like that before attempting the more in-depth stuff. So this is just kind of a little appetizer for the material, if you want to say. And then after, let's say, watching some lecture videos on the section, you would take a section quiz. Okay. Again, this is going to be fairly short on web courses, basic questions, just a couple of them, only a couple minutes. And these 2 things are going to be spread throughout the week, several throughout the week, at least one for each section. And it's really just designed to keep you engaged in the course instead of letting all your studying pile up on, Sunday when all the homework's due. The homeworks aren't all going to be due on Sunday either. I'm going to spread the homeworks out, which brings me to the next point. We're going to have homework for each section. Okay, and again, this is going to be spread throughout the week. It's not all going to be collected on one night of the week. And the homework is probably going to be, I'm not going to say hard, but probably the most time consuming. Okay, some of these homework problems are pretty involved. A little disclaimer, I didn't write the homework problems. That's decided above my pay grade, and it's the same for all sections of the course, so everybody's in the same boat. If you can solve every homework problem easily and consistently, you're going to have no problems on the tests. I'll put it like that. And then, so this is going to be for each section. So there's going to be 2 or 3 of these kind of blocks each week. And then also each week we're going to have a weekly quiz, and we're only going to have one of these a week. And these are going to be based on the preceding week's materials. Okay. So this is the work we're going to do on a typical week. This is going to be different on test weeks. Obviously, we're not going to have nearly as much work on test weeks, just tests. Now let's look at the materials you're going to be provided with. So as far as your learning materials go, you have the ebook, or maybe some of you have the physical textbook. Same book from section Calc 1, just different sections of the book. If you don't have the book, you'll have a free copy of the ebook on WebAssign. So everybody's going to have access to the book. Then on web courses, there's also these things we're calling summary sheets, where, let's see, Professor Mikuzinski and one of the grad students, I think it was Chris Botello, it might have been Chris Boz, made them with Dr. Mikuzinski. And these are just an outline of the concepts in each section of the book, and they provide links to YouTube videos that give explanations. And the YouTube videos that these link to are made by people not affiliated with UCF, just YouTube videos from the internet that kind of explain the topics. Okay, so we have these two resources. Neither of these are made by me, but that brings us to what my contribution is. I'm going to provide you with lecture videos for each section and problem videos for each section. So the lecture videos is more theoretical stuff, the concepts of the section, and I try and give you guys some intuition. And then in the problem videos, I actually work through several problems in the textbook to try and give you some insight into the mechanics of working these problems, and also explain how I would like you to solve these problems on tests and so on. Other than that, you are, of course, free to use any outside sources you like from YouTube or beyond. Some recommendations would be Khan Academy, Three Blue, One Brown. That's a good YouTube video or YouTube channel. And let's see, another good YouTube channel that provides some math education is Professor Leonard. He's great. And then I'm sure I think there's somebody called like Patrick JMT or something like that, who's also very good. I don't quite remember his name, but somebody along those lines. And you're free to use all of those resources, but keep in mind that all tests and quizzes and so on are going to be made by me. So I'm going to pull those questions from my lectures and the textbook. Yeah, you can't go wrong with the textbook. And if you want some insight into my thought process, check out the lecture videos, the problem videos. I have my own standards as far as what I think, how I think you should be solving problems. So definitely stay tuned in to me to see how I want you to solve these problems. Now, this is all I had for discussing the course layout. I just want to give some insight now into what level of understanding you guys should have throughout the course. Okay. So maybe some of you going through Calc 1, you could do the problems and you did well in the course, but maybe you feel like you don't have any idea what's going on. And I kind of want to reassure you on that front. You're not expected to have perfect understanding of these concepts at this level. And I think that's something that kind of gets lost in these courses, that you're not supposed to have the perfect intuitive understanding of what's going on. So let's talk about what level of understanding is appropriate. And really, to do that, let's talk about math education a little bit, just a couple minutes, okay? So in college, you're going to take Calc 1, Calc 2, this is where you guys are at, and I presume most of you are going to take Calc 3, and then maybe you'll take ODEs, or maybe you'll take
the matrix algebra class. And then that's where most of you guys will stop. And really all these courses have, I would say, the same level of understanding of math. Maybe you get a bit better as you go through, but this is kind of all in one block of understanding, I would say. If you wanted to gain a better understanding of math, you would be a math major, I suppose, and then you would take a course like Logic and Proof, and then you would take a bunch of electives, and then in your senior year, you would take something called Advanced Calculus. Okay, which sounds all fancy, but what is it really? You know, you think you have Calc 1, Calc 2, Calc 3 up here. So what's Advanced Calculus? Is that just crazy differentiation and integration? No. What you do is you start from the beginning of Calc. So you start from Calc 1 and relearn all the concepts. But now you're learning them from a logic standpoint. So after you've taken this course, you go back and relearn all these concepts, and you learn how to prove everything. And once you do that, you really gain insight into what all these definitions like continuity and differentiability mean, and you learn what it really means when you're integrating a function. So you get a real deep understanding of the math at this level. So what should you have in this first block here, where most of you guys will stop? Really just the mechanics. I just want you guys to learn the mechanics and then maybe get a basic intuition of what's going on. Obviously the better intuition you can develop, excellent. That if you can really master the concepts here, that's great. But I wouldn't get too hung up on it. And really, most of you guys won't need that level of understanding. So let's say you're going on to become electrical engineer or something like that. How much physics do you need to know? You know, maybe you need to know the concepts of electricity and how electricity flows through a circuit, etc. But do you need to know everything from quantum electrodynamics? No, you definitely don't. You know, maybe you just need some basics of the theory of electricity and magnetism, things like that. And we could say the same thing about math. How much math do you need for whatever field you're going into? Well, your requirements are this. And if you can learn more, great. Maybe some of you would consider picking up a math minor, and then you would learn some stuff like this and develop a greater understanding. But if you're stopping in this first block, then really just learn the mechanics and get a basic idea of what's going on behind the math. Don't freak out if you feel like your understanding isn't as deep as it should be. Of course, I'm always here to try and give you a better understanding, so just reach out to me if you're ever having problems on the topic. I am looking forward to the rest of the semester with you guys, but I will end this video here.